Hi, I'm Jen Harrison from drjenniferharrison.com, and today I want to show you how to do emotional freedom techniques, also known as EFT or tapping. And specifically, I want to show you a technique called the basic recipe. EFT is an amazing treatment as well as a self-care tool that combines aspects of traditional Chinese medicine as well as modern psychology. The traditional Chinese medicine part involves tapping over a specific set of acupuncture or acupressure points on the head and the upper body, and I'll show you how to tap on those in a moment. The other component involves rating the intensity of the emotion that you're feeling, perhaps about an event that happened to you in the past, maybe a limiting belief that's blocking you now, or an upcoming event that you're worried about that's going to be happening in the future. EFT then combines stating aloud what's bothering you while simultaneously tapping the set of acupressure points that I mentioned. Now, by combining the tapping with verbally stating what's bothering you, that sends a calming signal to your amygdala. You have one amygdala in each hemisphere of your brain, and they play a key role in your fight, freeze, or flight mode or your stress mode of your nervous system. Now, the amygdala are responsible for scanning incoming sensory information for perceived threats. So that could be anything from literally a grizzly bear on your hiking trail to maybe dreading an upcoming meeting with your boss. It can also get activated when you're recalling an unpleasant event that happened in the past. Now, as I mentioned, what happens during EFT is that a calming signal gets sent to the amygdala. Now, in the grizzly bear on the hiking trail scenario, you actually want your fight or flight mode to kick in. That's an ancient built-in safety mechanism in our brains, and it's been helping to keep humans safe since back in our cave people days. Animals have it too. However, in the other two scenarios, having our fight or flight mode kick in because of a bothersome thoughts, images, or memories is not helpful. In fact, this type of stress has been shown to have all sorts of negative effects on our health. Improperly managed stress has been linked to all sorts of body-mind health issues, including heart disease, high blood pressure, diabetes, immune system disorders, muscle aches and pains, headaches, digestive system orders, depression, anxiety, and of course PTSD or post-traumatic stress disorder. Now, there's a lot of research that has been done and continues to be done showing EFT to be effective for treating not only general stress, but also depression, anxiety, food cravings, physical pain, and even PTSD with war veterans. The research has shown that EFT, in addition to sending a calming signal to the amygdala, it can also help to decrease stress chemicals in our bodies, such as cortisol, which is a well-known stress hormone. And it's even been shown to have a positive impact right down to our DNA and how certain genes are expressed. For more background info on EFT, please just click on the link below, and that'll take you to my website where I have additional information, I've got links, and where this video is posted as well. Okay, so who can do EFT? Well, there are healthcare professionals such as counselors, psychologists, chiropractors, acupuncturists, medical doctors, and also some life and success coaches who are trained EFT practitioners. So depending on the body-mind issue that you're dealing with, you may want to seek out the help of a trained EFT practitioner. However, the beauty of EFT is that also anyone can learn how to do the basic tapping and use it as a self-care tool. Unfortunately, there's a lot of misinformation about EFT and how to do it properly. So what I want to do is I want to show you how you can do what's called the basic recipe in EFT tapping. So first of all, I'm going to show you the tapping points. The first one is called the karate chop point. And the way that you find it is there's a line along your hand, along the palm of your hand, that goes around to the side of the hand, the part of the hand that you would use to do a karate chop. And that's called the karate chop point. So you're going to tap over that, and there's a number of ways that you can tap. You can tap with the fingertips, You can tap with a broader base contact if you want. And the tapping is going to be very light and it's going to be quick. And generally speaking, when you're tapping over the points, it's usually around 7 to 10 times. It's not written in stone, but that's just a general number. So that's your karate chop point. When you're tapping, you can tap with your right hand, you can tap with your left hand. It doesn't matter, whatever feels comfortable to you. The next point is called the top of the head point, and the way that you locate that is that you go from the tips of your ears and you travel all the way up to the top of your head, and that's the top of the head point. So it's probably a little bit further back than you might think that it is, but if you follow the tips of your ears, travel right up to the top of the head, you'll find the top of the head point. Now, some of the acupressure points like this one are on acupuncture meridians that run along the midline of the body. But then there are also other points that that are located on meridians that travel on both sides of the body, like this next one. The next one is called the eyebrow point. So the way that you locate it is it's right where the eyebrow ends, just above the bridge of your nose. Now, when you're tapping these points, the eyebrow points, you can tap with both hands. You can tap with your one hand, the other hand. You can tap across the body if you want, whatever feels most comfortable for you. When I do tapping on points like this, I use both hands because I know that those meridians travel on both sides of the body. But you can just do whatever tapping feels comfortable for you. So those are the eyebrow points. The next points are called the side of the eye, and they're located right along the bony ridge that goes around the eye. It's the orbit, or the around the edge of the eye socket. So it's right on the bony part. So it's not, you're not tapping over your eye. You never want to do that. But it's also not back on your temple either. It's right on the side of the eye, and so that's called the side of the eye points. The next points are called under the eye, and again, they're right on the bony part of your eye socket underneath. So you're not tapping on the eyeball, you're tapping on the bony part, and you're not tapping down on the cheeks either. If you're down here, you're too low. It's right on the bony part of your eye socket, right underneath the eye, and those are the under the eye points. The next point is a midline point, and it's called under the nose. So this under the nose point is actually halfway between the bottom of your nose and the top of your lip, right in the little furrow, and that's where you'll be tapping. The next point is called the chin point, and it's actually located halfway between your lower lip and the pointy part of your chin, right in the little valley that's there. And again, it's right in the midline, so you can tap with one hand or the other, it doesn't matter. The next points are called the collarbone points, and the way that you can locate them is go to your breastbone and go right up to the very top. There's a little notch at the top of your breastbone, and then from there you're going to travel out a couple of inches, and then you're going to slide down about 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches, and you'll be in the soft part, you'll be in the muscle part. And these are called the collarbone points. And again, you can tap over the collarbone points. If you're not quite 100% sure that you're on the right spot, you can do a broader tapping. And again, one hand or the other hand or both hands over the collarbone points. And the last point that I'm going to show you is called the under the arm point. Now, it's not in your armpit. It's actually about a hand's width below your armpit, right along the side of the body, right in the midline. So it's around the bra line for women. And that's where you're going to be tapping the under the arm point. So those are all of the points that we'll be using in this EFT tapping basic recipe. So now I'm going to take you through a brief tapping session. So for the sake of this example, let's say that you're feeling really scattered. Your mind's all over the place. You've got a ton of things to do on your to-do list, and you just can't seem to get started. And what you really want is you just want to feel calm and centered. So what I want you to do first of all is to rate the intensity of the emotion. In this case, it's feeling scattered. So you would rate that emotion on a scale of 0 to 10. 0 would be neutral, that you're not feeling scattered at all, in which case you wouldn't need to do EFT tapping. And then 10 would be just the really, really scattered, that you can't even think straight. This scale, this rating scale, is known as a SUD scale, which stands for Subjective Units of Distress. So that's our rating scale. Once you have a number, write that down. The next thing I want you to do is tune into your body and really feel where that tension is. All the scatteredness that you have in your head, where are you feeling that? Is it in your head? Is it your neck and shoulders? Is it in your chest? Is it in your stomach? And again, for the sake of this exercise, let's just say that you're feeling a lot of tension in your head. So now we're going to create something called the setup statement. Now the setup statement always follows a pattern, and it goes like this. It goes, even though I feel, and then you fill in the blank with whatever emotion you're feeling. So even though I feel scattered, even though I feel worried, even though I feel sad, even though I feel frustrated, whatever emotion you're feeling. You could also use it with a particular issue, saying, even though I have this, whatever your issue is, even though I have this problem, this pain in my neck, or even though I'm nervous about the presentation I have to do tomorrow, whatever the issue is. So it always starts off with even though I feel, or even though I have, whatever the issue is. Then it's followed by an affirmation that the general one is, I deeply and completely accept myself. Now there are a number of variations of affirmations that are used, but I'm going to share with you sort of the three most common ones. So the one that I just shared with you, I deeply and completely accept myself, is one of the most common ones. Then there's also, I deeply and completely accept myself and how I feel. And then another one that's used very often is, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. So the one that I'm going to use today is, I deeply and completely accept myself and how I feel, but you can use whichever affirmation you choose. Okay, so now I'm going to take you through the basic recipe. The first thing is to repeat your setup statement while tapping on the karate chop point. So remember, you follow the crease in your hand to the karate chop edge of your hand, and that's the karate chop point. And you can repeat the setup statement 2 or 3 times. In this example, we're going to repeat it twice. Now try to be as specific as possible. So for our example, we'll say, even though I feel scattered at a whatever our score was, let's say it's a 7. So even though I feel really scattered at a 7, and I feel this tightness in my head, I deeply and completely accept myself and how I feel. So we would repeat that twice, 2 or 3 times. Now in another example, a different example, let's say you were feeling really worried about a client meeting that you have tomorrow. Your setup statement would be, even though I'm really worried about this big client meeting tomorrow, my worry is at an 8, I deeply and completely accept myself and how I feel. Or whichever affirmation you choose. And you would repeat that 2 or 3 times while tapping on the karate chop point. Okay, so after you do the setup statement, you're going to be moving on to the tapping points that I showed you earlier. And as we go through the tapping points, we're going to be using what's called the reminder phrase. So for this example of feeling mentally scattered, our reminder phrase will be, I feel so scattered. So you would tap, starting at the top of the head point, I feel so scattered. I feel so scattered. I feel so scattered. I feel so scattered. And you would do that through all the tapping points. For the other example, if you were feeling worried about the big client meeting that you have tomorrow, your reminder phrase would be, I feel so worried. I feel so worried. I feel so worried. Or you could say, all this worry, all this worry, all this worry, and go through the rest of the tapping points. Okay, so let's get back to our first example of feeling mentally scattered and use the basic recipe to tap on that. So again, we'll do the setup statement, tapping on the karate chop point. And as I take you through the basic recipe, you can just repeat what I'm saying and just echo it back. Okay, here we go. Even though I feel mentally scattered, it's at a 7, and I feel this tightness in my head, I deeply and completely accept myself and how I feel. Even though I feel mentally scattered, it's at a 7, and I feel this tightness in my head, I deeply and completely accept myself and how I feel. Okay, and now we'll use the reminder phrase starting at the top of the head. I feel so scattered. Eyebrow points, I feel so scattered. Side of the eye, I feel so scattered. Under the eye, I feel so scattered. Under the nose, I feel so scattered. Chin point, I feel so scattered. Collarbone points, I feel so scattered. And under the arm point, I feel so scattered. Okay, and take a nice breath in and out. Great. Now, how would you rate the SUD rating? In this example, say we started at a 7, and so what are you at now? So maybe you've gone down to a 5 or a 4. If you've gone down to 0, then you're done tapping. But if there's still some intensity there, let's say that there's still a 4, then we would do another round of tapping. And when you start this other round of tapping, you start with a setup statement again, acknowledging the new intensity. So our setup statement for our second round of tapping would be, even though I'm still feeling scattered, it's at a 4, I deeply and completely accept myself and how I feel. Even though I'm still feeling scattered, it's at a 4, I deeply and completely accept myself and how I feel. Top of the head, I'm still feeling scattered. Eyebrow points, I'm still feeling scattered. Side of the eye, I'm still feeling scattered. Under the eye, I'm still feeling scattered. Under the nose, I'm still feeling scattered. Chin point, I'm still feeling scattered. Collarbone points, I'm still feeling scattered. Under the arm, I'm still feeling scattered. Okay, and another nice breath in and out. Okay, so what is your SUD rating now? If it's gone down to 0, you're done tapping. If there's still some intensity there, it could be a 1 or a 2, then go through another round of tapping. Now, depending on what you're working on, you may actually have to go through several rounds of tapping, and it may take several minutes, but that's okay. The key point is that you want to get your SUD score down to 0. And then also check in physically. How was that pressure? In this example, we had tightness and pressure in the head, and you would revisit that and see how that feels now compared to when you started. So that's the basic recipe for EFT. Now, remember, if your stress levels are really high and your usual self-care tools, including EFT, just don't seem to be helping, or if you're dealing with a traumatic event, go see your medical doctor and get checked out. As I mentioned, there are others, including healthcare professionals like counselors and success coaches who are trained EFT practitioners, and it may be helpful to have them on your healthcare team too. EFT is an amazing tool, and I hope that you'll use it to help create the health, happiness, and success that you want in your life. Now, if you found this video helpful, make sure you like it, share it with a friend who may need it, and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this one. For additional resources to help you go from your stressed self to your best self, head over to my website, drjenniferharrison.com. It's free to join. You get 6 amazing bonuses when you do, plus access to over 100 articles and videos. Remember, making a positive change starts with just one step in the right direction. Thanks for watching.